Title: The Boy Who Planted Rainbows. In a sleepy little village where the roads were dusty and the skies were often gray, there lived a quiet boy named Elliot. He was just 8 years old. With curly brown hair and a heart too big for his small chest, Elliot didn't talk much, not because he couldn't, but because he was always listening. To the wind, to the birds, to the way the world breathed, when nobody else was paying attention. Elliot lived with his grandma June in a cottage covered in ivy. They didn't have much, not money, not shiny toys, not even a TV, but they had something else. A garden full of dreams, flowers that stretched like they were reaching for the stars, trees that seemed to hum at night, and a little stone bench where Elliot would sit and talk to the sky. But that year, something was wrong. The rains had stopped. The flowers began to wilt. The trees drooped, and Elliot's heart began to worry. "Grandma," he asked one night, "why won't it rain anymore?" Grandma June tucked him into bed and smiled gently. "Sometimes, the clouds forget, but they always remember." Eventually, Elliot wasn't so sure. That night, he had a dream, a glowing dream. He saw himself standing in the middle of the dried garden with a tiny golden seed in his hand. A voice, soft like leaves dancing in the wind, whispered, "Plant hope." When he woke up, Elliot ran outside barefoot. The earth was dry, cracked, but he knelt down anyway, dug a small hole, and pretended he had that golden seed. He whispered to the soil, "This is for hope. Please grow." Every day after school, Elliot came home and watered that little spot even when there was no sign of growth. The neighbors watched from their porches and shook their heads. "Poor boy's losing it," they muttered. "Nothing grows in dirt like that." But Elliot didn't listen. He kept watering, and waiting, and hoping. Weeks passed. Then one morning, something impossible happened. Right where Elliot had planted his invisible seed, a small shoot had broken through the dry ground, not green, but shimmering with a glow Elliot had never seen before. It wasn't just a plant. It looked like light, curling and dancing like a tiny ribbon in the wind. "Grandma," he cried, "it's growing." Grandma June came out and gasped. "Well, I'll be." Day by day, that glowing shoot grew taller. Then others began to appear: blue, pink, gold, purple. Soon, Elliot's patch of dirt was covered in the brightest, softest rainbow-colored plants anyone had ever seen. They didn't need rain. They glowed from within. And something strange started to happen. When people walked by Elliot's garden, they slowed down. The tired man with sore feet, he smiled. The worried mom with 3 kids. She stopped and sat on the bench, eyes closed, breathing deep. The grumpy old lady who never spoke to anyone. She brought Elliot a basket of cookies. They didn't know why. The garden just felt good. One evening, as the sun dipped low, something even stranger happened. The rainbow plants lifted their tiny blossoms and sang. It wasn't a song with words. It was a feeling, a hush, a warmth, a memory of being held when you were a baby. A hug you didn't know you needed. And then, the sky, which had been dry for nearly 3 months, began to shift. Clouds rolled in, soft and heavy. A single raindrop landed on Elliot's cheek. He looked up and laughed. "It's raining," he shouted. The villagers danced in the streets. Buckets were filled. Roofs echoed with the sound of blessings. But in Elliot's garden, the rainbow plants didn't get wet. The rain touched everything around them, but slid right off their glowing petals like they were protected. That night, as Elliot sat on his bench, Grandma June beside him, he asked, "What were those seeds, Grandma?" "The ones I planted." She smiled, her eyes twinkling like starlight. "You didn't plant seeds, my love. You planted belief. And sometimes, belief is all it takes to change everything." From that day forward, Elliot's garden became known as the Rainbow Patch. People came from other towns just to walk through it. Sick children said they felt better after visiting. Lonely hearts found peace. And Elliot, he never stopped planting. Every time someone felt sad or scared, he'd hand them an imaginary golden seed and say, "Here, try planting this. You never know what might grow." So if one day you feel like the sky is too gray, like the world forgot to smile, remember Elliot, the boy who planted rainbows. And maybe, just maybe, plant one of your own. Subscribe to the channel, or your rainbow might forget where to grow.